Good morning, Chairperson. My name is Zizi Kodwa, and good morning to the members of the committee. I must say that the problem you're experiencing is the problem of all of us. Where I am, I'm likely to be cut off anytime. Load shedding has been quite heavy the past few hours and past few days. I am mindful of time constraints.
Yes.
I've asked the team to be as brief as possible, led by DTG Mandisa, and I'll just request them. The two areas of Nigeria and Kenya are quite straightforward. It's just about status. The third one of France, it will take very few minutes, Chairperson. So I'll ask Mandisa just to introduce the team to immediately make their presentations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Thank you. I know that we have other commitments today, but we do appreciate that whilst we do have commitments, you have some few minutes with us. We do appreciate as a committee. Can I give Mandisa? Thank you, Mandisa.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Just a moment. Honorable members, can I check the apologies with the administration? I'm very sorry to do this.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, members. Good morning, all. Yes, Chairperson, we have apologies. We have an apology from Umamu Sibia. She will be not joining us today. She's attending the meeting with higher education. We also have an apology from the DG Chairperson, who is hosting the Vice President of Colombia in Freedom Park, and then she will be joining a SAIDS meeting later on. And the Minister has requested to be released early today, as he will be attending the preparatory meeting for the Nelson Mandela Marathon in Mthatha, Chairperson.
Yes.
Those are the apologies that we have to return.
Yes. Any other apologies from honorable members?
Just to add, Chair, the apology of the Deputy Minister. She's representing the ministry at the receiving of the Vice President of Colombia this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. We are done with apologies. May I give chance to honorable members to adopt the agenda of today? Any adoption? Honorable Zondi.
Honorable Adams.
Honorable Zondi.
Yes, Chair. Good morning to you, the Honorable Minister, the department, and honorable members. I move that we adopt the agenda as presented to us, Chair. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Honorable Zondi. Honorable Adams.
Thank you, Chairperson, and good morning to all on the platform. Chairperson, I just wanted to second on the proposal of adoption of the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. I've seen that even Honorable Van Dijk, the hand was up, so he wanted to adopt the agenda. Immediately that you adopted, the hand was dropped down. Let me also take this opportunity to give the DTG who must brief us. Thank you so much.
Good morning, Honorable Chairperson, Honorable members, Minister, colleagues from the department and from the Portfolio Committee Secretariat Office. I am just going to introduce the team that is here.
Yes.
Maybe I can switch off my video. My network is warning me seriously. So we do have myself, DTG, who is leading the team that is going to present. And of course, we have Ludwig from the Office of the DG, We also have amongst us from the Office of the DG, Nokbonga Ramalepe. We also have Mr. Rufus Madibe, who will be one of the presenters today. We also have Mr. John Mohashwa, who is another presenter that we have today, and as well as Mr. Sibongile Botwe, who is from the office of the ministry, in particular the minister's office, as well as Mr. Watani, who is also from ministry, in particular the deputy minister's office. These are the people, as well as Manzikelelo, Ms. Bagwa, is in the meeting, also our chief of staff from the ministry. I think Ms. Kosa will be joining. I don't see her. I think she's still battling with connectivity, but I know she will be joining us. I have already indicated, Chairperson, that we have two lead presenters. We are going to follow the agenda. So the first presentation will be on the co-production with Kenya. We've already been guided to say, let us be brief as possible, but we will try our best to give the detail. Kenya, as well as Nigeria, they will be presented by one person, Mr. Madibe. They are both on co-production agreement. Chairperson will guide if we just take both presentations simultaneously and we pause thereafter for questions, because those ones, their status is more or less the same, Chairperson.
Thank you so much about that. If you can do that before even the minister can have serious problem or to leave us, can I take this opportunity on behalf of the committee, saying that thank you so much, the ministry, to come and give the honorable members the t-shirts, because they were jealous, thinking that we are just thinking that this bid is only for the portfolio committee members. But honorable minister, I don't know, because 2010, the t-shirts was to every member of parliament. I'm presenting this, that other members now they are saying we were so selective. We did bring the t-shirts for our budget vote. I'm just raising this officially, honorable minister, that everyone now, because of you in the office, you started the campaign all over. People, they are seeing there's these t-shirts. We don't know about your budget, but I'm suspecting that every member of parliament now, they do want t-shirts. And myself and the whip of the committee were proposed yesterday, we're talking about this, that now we need to check the way of distributing the t-shirts, in order that people, they must not get t-shirts, those who have a chance of having. I'm raising this for today in order that it must be taught in your ministry. Thank you so much. I'm carrying the mandate of the members of parliament in large. Thank you so much for what you have done for us. Let's give these two officials to brief us together of this what you call presentation. I thank you.
All right, over to you, Mr. Matibe. You will combine Kenya and Nigeria. I hope you've seen my text that was saying Lodwick is not yet in the meeting. Be ready to upload. Just indicate to me if you are ready or you want assistance.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, Minister and colleagues. It is a privilege for us to be presenting the status of these agreements to the honorable members. I can try and load, but if it's easy for you, DDG, please assist.
Chairperson, may I suggest that Rufus proceed with presentation in the meantime whilst they're trying to sort out the issues of presentation.
I do support that, Rufus, because we've told you that this presentation, they were with us since Friday, but whilst they are still trying to flag proceed, there are they.
Okay. Thank you very much, honorable members and my minister and the team. I will start with agreement between the government of the Republic of South Africa and the government of the Republic of Kenya on audio-visual co-production. The agreement was signed on the 9th of November 2022 in Nairobi, Kenya. One of the key elements of this agreement, which talks to entry into force, indicates that the agreement will remain in force for a period of 5 years, whereafter it shall be automatically renewed for another 1 year, unless terminated in accordance with sub-article 3. Sub-article 3 say that any party can indicate that they don't wish to continue with the co-production audiovisual treaty for whatever reason that they may have, and the other party would so accept. But what it also make provision for is to say that activities or events or programs that are already underway, they will be allowed to proceed. We have given a bit of a diplomatic relations between South Africa and Kenya. And in the interest of time, you would allow me, Chairperson, to skip that. And also we have touched on a bit of a background in terms of how far we have come with Kenya in the field of sport, arts, and culture. And we have signed, as indicated on the second slide, and maybe interesting to the members will be just to also talk a little bit on the areas of cooperation on the audiovisual. This really talks in the main in terms of what are the areas that are of mutual benefit to the two countries, looking at the sector audiovisual, that is documentaries, film, short films, long films, but also touching on people-to-people contact, because it is through films that our people are able to tell their own stories in their own languages. And these agreements really emphasize that let us create a platform as two countries that are very passionate about Pan-Africanism, to tell our own stories in our own languages. And then here is where we are now. For the agreements to enter into force, both parties must take this agreement through their processes, which is legal processes, parliamentary processes. From the South African side, we have done so. We have taken it to all those processes, and we have communicated that to our counterpart through diplomatic channel to say that we have done our part. We are waiting on you to do the same so that the agreement can enter into force. Unfortunately, so far, there hasn't been any confirmation from the Kenyan side, and we have made several attempts to urge them to say, please do conclude your processes so that our filmmakers can start working. So far, we haven't gotten any luck. Of course, it could be a number of reasons that is delaying either their internal domestic processes. But what we have now going to do is to do minister-to-minister letter, and hoping that tete-a-tete direct communication between our responsible ministers for sport, arts, and culture may yield good results. Then that's the process that we are following now, to ensure that at least before end of the first quarter of this financial year, this agreement has entered into force. Let me pause here, honorable members and minister and colleagues, in terms of the agreement with Kenya. I will proceed to agreement with Nigeria, with your permission, Chairperson. Okay, so the status, as DDG Mandisa indicated, of this co-production treaties with Kenya and Nigeria are almost the same. We have the agreement was signed during the BNC in December, 1st of December 2021 in Abuja, Nigeria. And also it makes similar provision in terms of what is the time span of the agreement and what are the conditions of termination, what are the conditions of entry into force. We from the South Africa side have done our part in terms of making sure that the agreement enter into force. We have gone to cabinet, we've gone to parliament to make sure that there is concurrence, this agreement, and all stakeholders are happy with the content of the agreement. And we are still waiting from the Nigerian side to do the same and communicate that they have concluded their processes and the agreement may enter into force. That is basically where we are. And we have, of course, communicated as a way of reminder to say that may the Nigerian side also conclude so that we can start with the work. Maybe also to indicate, Honorable Chair, that it does not necessarily stop the implementation of mutual agreed programs because we haven't really ratified this treaty. We continue to engage, we continue to implement all number of areas that we are working on. This between the two countries, Kenya and Nigeria. There are a number of programs that we have implemented because we don't necessarily have to wait until that happens. That is another instrument which just reinforces what we're doing and make it even more of a programmatic program that can be followed through with timelines, with allocated budgets, so that we track the progress and report accordingly to honorable members. Let me pause here in terms of those two co-production treaties. From the South African side, as I conclude, we have done what needed to be done. We are waiting on our counterpart to do the same so that agreements can enter into force. We are continuing to do follow-ups in terms of nagging our counterpart to do the same. And we would continue to implement those agreements that can be, those elements or articles that can be implemented on the basis of broad agreement that have been signed between the two countries. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thanks, Chairperson. That is the end of the two presentations.
Chairperson.
Chairperson, thank you. I hear Member Martin Ngozi now.
Jabu.
Can the admin
Please.
just come into support with the assistant?
Jabu,
Yes.
please assist. Thank
Ma'am,
you.
I'm actually looking for the chair. Yes, I'm looking. Yes, members, I'm looking. I'm actually calling her. Well, she is on the platform, but maybe mute. She's not.
Can we just propose an acting? Can we propose an acting to continue? I proposed, I can't propose, but I feel that we should do that in absence of the chairperson, get nominated acting. Thank you.
We'll have to vote on that, Mr. Dennis.
Yes, I do respect. I do respect that. I do respect that. I'm just saying that that's an option. Thank you.
Members, I'm just actually looking for, yeah, okay. Members, I'm sure there's something, a technical issue with the chairperson on her side. And the absence of the chairperson, can members please nominate an acting chairperson? Are there any nominations?
Thank you. Yes, this is Martin was here. I nominate Honorable Mr. Joseph. Thank you.
Thank you for that, member. But I'm the third member in the committee, so the first two members have the authority to be part of voting and nominations and so on. So I appreciate but my members will come on board to support the process. Thank you.
Members, are there any nominations?
Yes, Chair. Yes, Chair. I don't know. There are members who come and who are on and off in the platform, but I don't know.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Zondi.
Yes, but Honorable Adams, if she is audible, may I nominate her to take us through the remainder of the presentation so that we deliberate on it. Chair, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Zondi. Mamu Adams, are you still in the platform?
Yes, I am.
You've been nominated, ma'am. Do you accept the nomination?
Yeah, I don't have a problem to accept it. I'm willing to accept it. But as I have stated on the chat that I'm going into load shedding 10 o'clock. So if I don't have disturbance of network, I will proceed.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Is there any seconder?
I second.
Mr. Joseph, I see you have your hand up.
No, sorry. Let's complete that. I just wanted to apologize for not putting my hand up. Thank you.
Okay, is there a seconder for Mamu Adams? Mamu
Yes.
Veronica?
I'll second.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Are there any other nominations? Okay, members, in the absence of any other nominations, Mamu Adams has been nominated to chair the meeting in the absence of the chairperson. Thank you, members. Tatu Zondi, I see your hand is up.
Chair,
Mr.
my
Zondi?
hand is up because the chairperson will when I'm raising my hands so that I will be the
For the
first
chairperson,
to.
okay.
Yes, yeah. Not
Okay,
that I have
thank
another
you.
issue. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Mamu Adams, you can take over. Thank you very much, members. Mamu Adams has been nominated.
Thank you very much, members on the platform, all on the platform, and a very good morning. The department did present to us the Kenya agreements. If we can proceed, all of us did hear what they have present to us. If I'm not mistaken, Jabu, please remind me of the agenda. Are there other presentations that we can follow after the presentation of DSEC, or can we continue before our other business with clarity-seeking questions?
There's one presentation outstanding, Chairperson, the one that's been loaded now for the French Republic. I see that the minister's hand has been up, Chairperson, since before the presentations were done. I'm not sure about that, but we've got one more presentation to go. It's already been loaded on the screen.
Okay, let me quickly give over to the Minister. Minister?
Thank you very much, Chair. Thanks very much, Chair. I just wanted to add one thing in the presentation by Rufus. The slow progress or response from the two countries. We thought we should escalate to the level of executive, to the level of minister to minister. We don't want to assume, there may be domestic problems in those countries in relation to change of governments, whatever. But what we thought we should do, because these are very important, and these agreements are specific to co-production. The work about, we have bilateral.
I think we lost the Minister. The sound was very weak. If there is a space that he can just swift so that we can hear him clearly. Minister? Minister, we lost you.
You lost me long ago, ne?
Yes, yes, Chair. Thanks for being back.
Continue, please.
Okay. We lost the Minister, Jabu.
No,
Yes, ma'am, it seems like we've lost the Minister, Acting Chair.
Okay, we will give him a chance when he's back. I saw the hand of Honorable Dennis. Is it a legacy hand?
Yes, Chairperson, my apology, thank you.
Thank you so much. Honorable Zondi, I saw your hand.
Yes, Chair, can we ask questions after the minister, or you are allowing us to ask questions because of the two presentations? I'm raising my hands to ask a question for the two presentations, if you allow me, Chair.
Honorable Zondi, there is one more presentation and then we can proceed with our questions after that one.
No problem,
I think,
Chair.
yes, thank you. I saw the hand of the co-host, Mandisa.
Thanks, Honorable Chairperson. I was going to make a proposal that perhaps we proceed with this presentation, which may give perhaps an opportunity for Minister to come back. At least he knows the presentation. And then we have just one round of questions over all the presentations.
Okay, then thank you. Thank you so much. I will quickly
Chairperson,
yes.
Chairperson, my hand is up.
Yes.
I'm not sure what happened. We agreed that both presentation must be presented in order that we must ask question in, but it's in order now what Umandisa is asking. I thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I will give over to her so that we can start with the next presentation.
Thanks, Chairperson and honorable members. This presentation is the third of the three presentations of today. Yes, initially we separated to start with the two that were of the same status, but this one, at least all the formalities have been managed through, And this is coming into force as of June, this agreement. So that's the difference between it and the other ones in terms of the status. Mr. Mohasho will lead us on the presentation. Thanks. Over to you, Mr. Mohasho. You are on mute, perhaps, Mr. Mohasho. Are you hearing us? Because now the presentation is with you. We can't even say we continue with the presentation whilst we are not hearing you. Ludwig, is it you who's flighting the presentation? If I can just proceed with it.
Yes, ma'am, it's me who's flighting it. You can proceed.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure what happened to Mr. Mkhashwa. Perhaps he is on mute or load shedding affairs. This is the South Africa France co-production agreement. It is on cinematography and audiovisual production. We can go to the next slide, whilst I have already indicated that this one, all the formalities in terms of signing the agreement between the two parties and the legal and parliamentary processes to ensure that the agreement is now qualifying as an entry into force agreement. That has already been done. The agreement was signed in May 2022. And of course, everything else has been finalized in November, so during the BNC, and now as of around the 3rd of June, this agreement will be in force. The validity of the agreement as well, it's an agreement that is in force indefinitely, subject to notifications between the parties as and when the agreement, each party feels like retiring from this agreement, and then notifications are given. I've already indicated the nature of the agreement, and therefore we can pass the slide. And of course, I've already talked to the processes in terms of completion of the agreement to say this agreement is already completed. And now what will happen is that as of June, we are handing over this agreement to NFVF, who will be implementing the agreement, and the implementation of the agreement will take the form of a call for proposals that could be submitted under this agreement. And the call window is not an open and close window. It's a window that is open for the duration of this agreement. Of course, there will, as with all the agreements, be a program of cooperation that is set out, and that program of cooperation will assist on a yearly basis to put parameters in terms of budgets that will have to be spent on the program of cooperation. Yeah, I think that covers the key points on this agreement. Thank you very much, Chairperson and honorable members.
Thank you. Are we done with that presentation?
Yes, Honorable Chair, we are done.
Thank you so much. Members, we can start with our clarity-seeking questions, if anyone has some, for both the presentations. I saw the hand of Honorable Zondi. Honorable Madeline Gose and Honorable Joseph. If there is no other hands, we can proceed. Honorable Zondi.
Thank you,
Honorable,
Chairperson.
thank you.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The Honorable Minister is correct to say the agreements are simple and straightforward. However, any agreement entered into by two countries is not a friendly agreement. It must benefit both countries economically, politically, or otherwise. We welcome the presentation, Chair, simply as they are important three agreements. Chair, the Minister responded to my first question. He was not finished, but he was responding to a question that I was going to ask. But I have few, Chair, I think three questions to ask for the agreement. The first one was, Chair, when was the last attempt to get a response from Kenya and Nigeria on the delivery of the outstanding notification? Minister touched on it. And the second one, Chair, how does the Kenyan film industry's contribution to the country's GDP compared to the impact of our domestic film industry on South Africa's GDP? Is there a market for South African cultural products in Kenya? And the last one, Chair, is with the Nigerian film industry is a force to be reckoned with on the African continent and global. How is the mutual transfer of skills incorporated in these agreements, Chair? Yabong.
Thank you very much, Honorable Madam Gose.
Thank you, Chairperson. Let me also welcome everyone, the ministry, the visitors, my colleagues, and also let me welcome the presentation. Chairperson, my question is there a growth of imports between South Africa and Kenya? If yes, are these developments driven by cordial bilateral relations, or are these trades just demands from one country to another? Chairperson, we are reading about monsters from Kenya who have devilish actions of killing their own women and children. What is South Africa's stance about Kenya's atrocities? What are they saying about it? Are they having discussions about such people? Chairperson, what is South Africa and Nigeria's stance about the reported xenophobic violence on both countries? Is there positive results from from reported severed relations due to competing economic and cultural influences between the two countries, Nigeria and South Africa? Chairperson, what is Nigeria's stance of their status of being drug lords by South Africans? The last, Chairperson, that I have is has South Africa been talking to uniting our country with both Kenya and Nigeria in order to erase borders that were not of African making? If not, why not? If yes, what are they talking about? Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Dennis.
Thank you, Chairperson. I welcome the presentations. I must say it was quite long to read, but I think it was 10 presentations. but very helpful. And one can see that on that level between governments or countries, it is important to have formal agreements in place. And I welcome all the work that departments within that respective programs in the department have done to bring us thus far. I just want to ask a question in terms of, I noted Dirko's name, at least in the presentations, the consultation with him, but I wanted to know, how does the Africa Union or African parliaments come in? Because our members in parliament serve on these organizations and these bodies that in a broader context is connected to Africa and the agreements that we talk about. So I just wanted to know, how does the African Union or African parliaments, what role do they play as being part of or influence this agreements? And then I also want to know, how will this formal agreements play out in our towns and our cities of the two countries, where these cultural organizations exist or live, or cultural businesses live or exist, or individual players in the industries that we are talking about? How does we get it after the agreements into a workable situation, or implement these agreements on a practicable basis onto the ground level as far as possible? Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Honorable Dennis. I don't see the hand of Honorable Dulani, but she indicated through an SMS. Are you there?
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yes, she indicated that she has some questions. She don't know what is the problem with showing her hand. But thank you. Can
I'm here.
Can I give to Honorable Dulani?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Chairperson, sorry, Chairperson, I think the Chairperson is back on the platform.
Yes.
So I think maybe the acting Chairperson can't hear you, Chair, maybe, but just to hand over. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Honorable Dennis, Honorable Chairperson. I've got some few questions. Let me ask, thank you for the presentations. I do feel, I do hear you, Honorable Dennis, that the presentation were too long, but I know you do take care of the reading of all correspondence. We did get it last week, Friday, this information, but nevertheless, you have done your work by asking the questions. Honorable members and Chairperson, can I ask this question? The Nigerian film industry is a force to be reckoned with on the African continent. How is the mutual transfer of skills incorporated in these agreements? The second question, in the presentation to the committee, you just said it seems the last time the two countries cooperated was in 2018 during the South African cultural season in Kenya. This was more than 5 years ago. Have there been any further engagements, areas of cultural cooperation between the two countries since 2018? I'm not sure, whilst I was still in the platform, I did hear that there were agreement which was signed last year, 9th November. I'm not sure whether my question is still relevant, but whilst I was reading, I did a pick and I wanted to raise this question. My apology if this presentation, which is saying that on the 9th November, the last agreement of signatories were done. I thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Dulani. Myself have questions, but I wanted to raise that. Can I proceed until the questions are finished, and then give over to DSEC to respond, and then the chairperson will take over from there. Thank you.
I cannot take over. I'm in a bad state. You have been elected because of that problem. You can raise your question, Honorable Chairperson of the day.
Thank you very much. My questions will be as follows. To DSEC, in the presentation to the committee, it seems that last time the two countries cooperated was in 2018 during the South Africa cultural seasons in Kenya. Sorry. This was more than 5 years ago. Have there been any further engagements, areas of cultural cooperations between the two countries since 2018? My next question will be, what is the status of the entry into force in relations to the agreement with France? And my last question, to what extent have the film industries in the countries under discussion bounced back after the impact of COVID-19? I think I've got only the last one. Sorry for that. The Nigerian film industry is a force to be reckoned with on the African continent. Excuse. How is the mutual transfer of skills incorporated in these agreements? I thank you so much. I don't see any other hands. Can I then give over to department on the clarity seeking question that was raised by members? I thank you.
Hey, thank you, honorable members. Whilst I'm speaking to other parts, I just want to prep Mr. Madibe to say you will speak to the issues in terms of the recent cultural activities, even if it's under the cultural seasons, the programs that we are implementing currently. And then, of course, you'll be free to add on the issues of trade between South Africa and these countries, in particular Kenya and Nigeria. The last time there was an attempt to pursue Kenya and Nigeria on their finalization of processes on the side was in March this year. Hence now the proposal that Minister is saying is on the table, that there be direct conversations through ministerial correspondence with them. In addition to that, we are hopeful, because we are getting indications that the counterparts of the minister could be coming in to partake in the Africa Month celebrations on the 25th. So if that gets to be as it's indicated, but not quite confirmed now, we may as well take that opportunity to pursue what we can pursue, hopeful that will take us to the conclusion of this. Maybe adding to that, let me also cover I think it was Honorable Dlulane, yes, where the question was, or Adams, the question was with France, what is the status with France? everything has been finalized, as I said, the agreement will be in implementation as of next month. Actually, the French were the first one to complete the process, and we followed. So as of June, as I said, we'll be handing over to the implementation partner, NFVF, to start the implementation process. And then I think other questions are more of questions of discussions. Maybe before I go there, the fact that these are co-production agreements in the outline of the program of cooperation, as we will do a programmatic framework now, it is given that those are things that we are going to be pursuing to say, this exchange, what does it entail for our film or audiovisual material producers? Because it means we are mindful of the fact that we are not just a recipient of finished goods for our people in South Africa to be just consumers of products that are coming from the other countries. Co-production means in a project, there should be teams that are working on this project, and out of those proposals that shall be looked at, it means we will be evaluating the proposals based on that exchange of skills, based on that sharing of the project by our co-producers from both countries. Of course, this may require support from our entities as well. Hence, we are bringing the relevant entities into the fold in terms of making sure that they are putting as well together instruments that will assist our co-producers in taking their part in the projects. We've started discussions with the NFVF, who are already partners, already committed to support this initiative. As I say, with France, they are already in the process, ready to start the implementation in June. And then when it comes to issues of trade, I think I could say, or generally, the issues that were about, are these just on a friendly basis or what? I think, firstly, on a people-to-people exchange, yes, there is an element of a friendly basis in terms of making our people know each other, and of course, from knowing each other, being able to trade with one another. But on issues of economic development, yes, there are issues of making sure that we balance our trade baskets. We are taking the cue from the data that is given to us or shared with us by the Department of Trade and Industry. So when we are looking at whether there is value in cooperating, and we are following what is already a trend. If I take, for example, Kenya is already one of the biggest and largest trading partners with South Africa. Of course, we are looking at as well in areas where there is trade that's composed of semi-manufactured products, making sure that at least even if we are receiving the products, there is still production that takes place here at home. And of course, in the nature of these agreements, even if we are exporting on the other side, it means we are seeking to establish our base as a country in those countries in terms of introduction of new products in those markets, or products that, according to statistical analysis, as I say, DTIC assisting us, they are giving us the trends in terms of what to look into. So I'm just raising the fact that beyond DECO is one of the key partners that we work on these with. we are also working with the DTIC in the narratives that we have shared, the Word documents. We are giving a small snapshot of the trade relations between the two countries, whether Kenya and South Africa or Nigeria and South Africa. I think finally from my side, I could say we are also led by our diplomatic relations. So as the department, if there are established and confirmed diplomatic relations with these specific countries, we follow, because we follow our foreign policy. We are implementing our foreign policy. So I guess the bigger questions about the stand, the positions, I want to leave them to Minister. Thank you. Mr. Matiwe, you can follow on the specific items I referred to you.
Thank you very much, DDG Chairperson. Thank you for the opportunity to respond. I wouldn't be saying much. I think the DDG have really covered the way I would have, even from my side. Maybe just to add a few things, that 5 years, of course, is a long time since the last engagement. But of course, there was a BNC that happened in 2022. But
Honorable
Dennis.
should I proceed? So honorable members will recall that between 2018 and up to 2020, 2021, the whole continent was under siege with COVID. So not much could happen, especially because cultural seasons are based, or all our exchanges are based on reciprocity. We have done our part in Kenya, and we have been waiting for Kenya to reciprocate. And during the BNC, there was so much energy, keenness to come to South Africa and explore the creative market in South Africa, and we welcome that. We are just waiting on them to say these are the days that we're going to be coming to South Africa, to also bring what they are producing, what they are services that they can render. And all this, I think that one issue was also raised by honorable member was, where is the African Union in all of this? The Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement area has just been now ratified, is in force. And as a sector, the creative sector, we are one of the biggest beneficiaries, because the products that we produce, be it in the film, be it in the music, in theater, in craft, in design, if we trade amongst ourselves in the continent, taking advantage of the elements spelled out by this, we have a huge market to exploit that we cannot be, we cannot compete with any other region, taking into consideration the number of the population of this continent, resources, skills. And amongst these co-production treaties is also an opportunity for our people to tell their own stories. Good stories, challenge the ills that happens in our community, that will talk to the atrocities that honorable members talk to. We want organic solutions that comes from the people to say, we are observing these challenges in our community. We are going to talk to them through our creative platforms. And we encourage that. And this is one area where we should be really looking at very closely to say, let's tell our own stories, using our own languages, so that we can start portraying the continent that we want to see. I know that many a time, I'm venturing into my own opinion a little bit, that people will always say Nigeria is, in the terms of film, to be reckoned with. But Africa is not about voodoo. It's not about witchcraft. There are so many stories that they can be talking about. But the challenge is that when you do not have the content that appreciate the diversity, the common heritage that we need to celebrate, and that is what you project, and everybody consume that. So if you ask anybody now, they will say, I know, Nigerian movies is about that. In South Africa, we look at quality. That's why South African movies, they are recognized globally. We win awards because of the quality that we present, because of the narrative that we present, that cannot compete with any positive stories about this country. Issues of skill transfer, yes, very important, very key, because there have been countries that were ahead of us as a country, and we learn from them. We learn from them in terms of marketing. We learn from them in terms of the narrative, Pan-African narrative. Maybe just the last one from my side to indicate is that within this month, being a chairperson mentioned it, Africa Month, the whole idea is to ensure that we appreciate, we celebrate, we commemorate, we also bring on board every African, so that we deal with issues of xenophobia, we deal with issues of gender-based violence within that space, which is another element of supporting what the African Union want us as a member state to be doing. So we are ahead. We are really matching on those designed matching orders from the African Union. I will pause here, Chairperson. I think I shouldn't have even been saying much, because I think the DDG have really touched on all these key areas that I am maybe just putting specifics to. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Rufus, for that response that you give us. DDG, acting DDG, Mandisa, are there any other responses that you wanted to address?
Chairperson, as I'm following my notes, we seem to have touched on everything except for what I said. I don't know, Minister, I don't see him here, which I thought this one, it's more of a deco question when we are to pronounce on positions of the country. I feel I may stand on the wrong side of the lane, other than to say we are led, and if the country says we are here now, we follow as the department. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Mandisa. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, you have heard the response of DSEC. If there is no other hands, I wanted to say to the presenters, thank you for coming this morning to present to us the work on what DSEC have done so far. And then let me stop here. I saw the hand of Honorable Madeline Gozi.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you very much. I heard that from one honorable presenter that my questions would be answered by the minister. And now I'm hearing Chairperson saying thank you to the presenters as if you're closing up. I don't know, some of the questions haven't been answered. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much, Honorable Madeline Gozi. I didn't see the minister on the platform unless Ms. Mandisa can respond to what you have raised now.
Okay. Thanks, Chairperson. What is South Africa's stand against Kenya's atrocities? Those are the questions that I'm saying I'm putting on the side. Our stance as well in terms of Nigeria's wrongdoings, and I think Rufus touched a little bit on the issues of Nigeria, perhaps, and the realities versus perceptions. It is true that it's open information that there are these atrocities, there are these wrongdoings seen from the Nigerian side. But I think what is important for the context of this cooperation agreement is whether our diplomatic relations and diplomatic ties are still intact and still standing. And if so, then that opens the ground for us to enter into these kind of agreements. It's another thing that in the process of these agreements, they become violations that bring us as a country through our government to take a stand. And I think it's when then we would bring to force the provisions that are in these agreements to say we are withdrawing in cooperating with you. So I'm saying, Honorable Member, yes, what you are raising, it's an ongoing discussion that has not reached a conclusion of a stand on the other side of the lane that says, no, we cannot have relations with you, country X. And as long as we have not reached that lane, we will continue. But when we reach that lane, the agreements that we enter, they always give room for us to take a decision if it's a decision of withdrawal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mandisa. I still see the hand of Madeline Gozi, or is it a legacy hand?
Sorry, Chairperson, it's a legacy, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yes, all hands are being lower. Then let me take the opportunity to thank the department for this presentations of this morning. And we will see each other on Tuesday. Thank you so much for this presentations and also the responses that you could give to seeking clarity questions. Jabu, are there any other business for DSEC to do?
No, Chairperson. They've done their 3 presentations. Thank you, Chair.
So I think we are done with DSEC. Thank you once again. And also to the staff members, thank you. We can release you now.
And thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, honorable members.
Thank you, appreciate him, the children. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chairperson, is the meeting still on?
Thank you. I think there was minutes that we have to adopt. Jabu?
Yes, well, we do have 2 sets of minutes, Chair. I'm
Yes.
just checking the quorum of the members in the meeting now.
Okay.
Morning, Chair.
Hello, hello. I don't. I hear you now. Sebo, I don't hear anyone else. Hello.
Yes,
We
yes,
don't have a program for the minutes.
let me hear from him. Sepo?
Okay, Chairperson.
Sorry, yes.
I was raising it up that we don't have a program for the minutes. Now maybe the meeting must adjourn.
Yes, but
we've got some members that are not.
Okay, then. Members, we are not a quorum. So the minutes must be go over to a next meeting. Thank you for being here this morning, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Lovely day to all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.